want to stay up to date with all the latest, direct from the NBL?
That is enormous!
Well, download the free NBL app now. It's jam-packed with live scores, stats, exclusive content, and much more. Get it from the App Store and Google Play now.
Hello and welcome to the State Basketball Centre, and Heartland Basketball kicks off here. Pre-season begins for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix as they take on the travelling California Baptist University. My name is Liam Ellison. Joined alongside me in commentary today is Ollie Landos of SEN. Ollie, thanks for joining us. Exciting to be here as NBL 24. It starts here.
Thank you very much for having me, Liam. The State Basketball Arena has had a great weekend, and cannot wait for this pre-season matchup.
It certainly has. It was less than 24 hours ago, in fact 14 to be precise, that the men's champions were crowned, the Knox Raiders prevailing, of course, over the Sandringham Sabres. And what a night. We'll quickly, touch on it. It was a sellout crowd, plenty of players in action tonight as well who participated in that one, but it was a great night for hoops.
Yeah, who participated last night that will be playing today?
So Ben Eyre for the Sabres, who, as many fans would know, has starred all season long for the Sandringham Sabres, made the All-Star 5 in the NBL 1, and now, of course, recently signed with the Phoenix. He was terrific, unfortunately, in a losing effort. But interestingly enough, Ollie, we've got a member of the winning side and a member of the losing side, because Austin Rapp's Knox Raiders got the job done.
Yeah, they've seen a bit too much of each other this weekend. I'm sure they'll be keen for the end of this game, and they can go home and just take a bit of a break from basketball. But from a CBU perspective, obviously, they're playing a few pre-season games here. They played against Brisbane on Thursday and then against United on last night. Lost both of those matches. They're looking slightly undermanned, but should be an interesting one today.
Certainly should be. At Friday night as well, they took in some AFL action at the MCG. So they've had a bit of a Melbourne experience, which is good to see. But look, this is a college that would be pretty well known to a lot of Australian basketball fans. Most recently, it was the canvas for which Taron Armstrong came out and really starred with his passing abilities, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he just signed with the Cairns Taipans for 2 years. He is known as one of the better passers in college basketball over the last few years, and actually denied going to Gonzaga and Xavier to come into the NBL and take his talents to Australia.
He had really quite the litany of options, didn't he, going into this season? Some of the colleges you reeled off there and pre-show as well, Ollie. He had a lot of options, but in the end, great to see that he has put his intentions with the Cairns Taipans and NBL 24, because the pathway, it's been much publicised now, is real for the NBL.
100%, and he actually played alongside Giddy and Daniels in the NBA Global Academy in Canberra before he went to CBU. So it's you can see where he got his passing talent from, as well as you can see that talking to someone like Giddy, learning that it's a great pathway to come through the NBL and take your talents elsewhere after that if you'd like. But overall, it's just a great stepping stone to bigger things.
It is a great program up there in Canberra. Alongside the AIS, a great Australian talent has come out of there, that's for sure. Of course, no Mitch Creek today. Ruben Tarangi, Matt Kenyon and Craig Moller for the Phoenix will be out of action. Mitch Creek is coming off a big season in Puerto Rico, so they'll be easing him back into things, I believe, Ollie.
Yeah, when you're as talented as him, you don't need to take part in every pre-season game. It's good to give the younger players some more minutes today, and they'll be looking to kind of have an impact early on in the pre-season so they can earn more minutes at the start of the regular season.
Absolutely. We'll see some time, though, from Gary Brown. Alan Williams is in uniform as well, so plenty to look for still in terms of the grunt of this Phoenix roster. We will see it on display still.
100%, and obviously you had the exciting news of Will Cummings, the import, who's one of the more well-travelled basketballers you'll see. He's played in America, Turkey, Greece, Germany, Russia, France, China, and now Australia. And he looks to be an extremely talented baller. And I'm keen to see him suit up this season.
He's really travelled the globe playing basketball. It's an awesome resume he's put together, and some MVPs he's won in France, in Germany, Euro Cup first team. Really excited to see what he adds to the squad as well. And stick around at halftime, because we will have Phoenix GM Tommy Greer up here in the commentary booth to chat all things Phoenix and how they've retooled for this season. That's going to be terrific. And of course, one of the major additions, Ollie, we shouldn't go without mentioning, new coach. Second coach in their franchise history, Mike Kelly. That's a big in.
Yeah, it's a massive change of direction for the franchise. Obviously, moving on, getting a couple of new players in, getting a new mindset, getting a new coach can always just put a team into a different direction. And I'm interested to see how Mike Kelly goes in his first year.
It's certainly a big transition. Obviously, Simon Mitchell, foundation coach, did a terrific job, led them to finals runs, etc. But Mike Kelly now comes in. He's a former coach of the year with the Cairns Taipans. Spent the last couple of seasons in Perth as an assistant, but clearly his basketball pedigree is well known. 100%,
and I'm keen for that halftime interview, because I wouldn't mind finding out a bit more on what stood out about Mike Kelly and why Tommy Greer decided to go that way.
Absolutely, we're looking forward to that one for sure. We are moments away here from the tip. A good crowd in for this pre-season fixture. The Heartland faithful have come out for a Sunday afternoon of hoops. A chance to see some of the new faces for the Phoenix and for fans of CBU to see how they are shaping up for their 23-24 season. Alan Williams, Gary Brown set to take their place in the lineup. Gorjak Gak as well, a new addition to this team, Ollie.
Also a ex-CBU player. Played his first year at college at CBU. So I'm sure he knows some of the coaching staff and whatnot. So keen to go up against the old team.
There is a massive Aussie connection, which we've just only started to illustrate in the Armstrong brothers and Gorjak Gak, but keen to hear more about that as well throughout the broadcast, Ollie. Of course, we have a history of some of these programs like St Mary's that have come out, established routes, recruitment pathways for Australian players coming here on pre-season tours. It is terrific.
Definitely, and also for CBU, you've got Tasman Goodrick and Hunter Goodrick, the brothers who come out of Sydney, Australia, so there's some good Australian representation as well.
Certainly, and Hunter Goodrick will start as well for CBU. Phoenix win down the tip. Here's Gary Brown. Gak tried to hand off to Vague. Phoenix move it via the perimeter. Foxwell down low. Williams well contested by CBU. Now they'll launch into a fast break situation. Goodrick. Three ball looks a little right. Vague's there. Foxwell to run point. Great to see Gary Brown back in a Phoenix uniform as well. His first jumper a little off. Here's Daniels Jr. for CBU. Goodrick. Now on the low block, battling with Williams. Kick out. Daniels Jr. Three ball from the wing is good. First points for CBU. Owen Foxwell around the pick. Williams with the floater. Off the glass, no good. Here's Scotty Washington. Sophomore for CBU. Goodrick. And Dominic Daniels Jr. Washington splits around Vague and gets it up and in.
Strong start by CBU, attacking the basket, finding their teammates, and they have a 5-0 lead early on.
Vague has the handoff from Gak. Single-digit shot clock now for Brown. Spins, what a find. Gak with the dunk. Great way to open the scoring column for the Phoenix. That gets the crowd alive. Daniels Jr. Washington around the ball screen, hesitates. Now he drives baseline. Last touch, no, by the Phoenix. Five-second shot clock. And it's Brantley Stevenson to bring it in. Brown did well, no, just stepped out of bounds. And timeout on the floor. So CBU with a nice start here.
And for our viewers, number 4 for CBU, Brantley Stevenson, had 14 points last night, so he's definitely one of the more prominent scorers for this outfit.
Absolutely one to watch, of course, last night against Melbourne United, falling 87-59 at the Diamond Valley Sports and Fitness Centre. United were led by Tanner Krebs, who had 22. And as you just outlined it, Ollie, Stevenson 14, Daniels Jr. 11, and Udrago as well, the only other CBU player in double figures with 10. So quick start for the visitors, Ollie. Always good. They've had obviously some struggles playing against professional teams. That's the point of this tour, to come out here and play really strong opposition and prepare yourself for the upcoming college season. I'm not expecting them to come out here and roll these men, essentially. But still, it's got to add some confidence the way they performed so far.
And from an underdog perspective, it can always be good to come out with a lot of extra energy, use your youth, and come at the professional players aggressively from the get-go. And they've done that, and they have, although it's a small lead, but they've had all the energy in the first 2.5 minutes of this game.
Absolutely. Coming up against the likes of Alan Williams, of obviously NBA experience. Gets to his spot, good. Dominique Daniels Jr. CBU continue. Oh, that's a big screen from Williams. Brown. Now down low, here's Williams. On the low block. Makes his move, too big, too strong. One to come at the line.
Found himself on the block with the shorter Dominique Daniels. Had a look at him, it was just like, I'm putting this in.
Great move. So
Williams from the free throw line knocks down the M1. Dominique Daniels brings it down. Right hand, up and in. Lovely floater and a great start by Daniels. 3 for 3 from the field, and he's got 7 points. The Phoenix look to respond through Brown. Pulls up for 3, and it's good. Lovely shot there. Went around the screen, rose up, knocked down the 3.
Phoenix have come to life here. Hard defense from Gary Brown. And Phoenix will regain possession. Looks a nice crowd as well. Maybe in excess of 1,500 here at the State Basketball Centre for this pre-season fixture. Brown nearly mishandled. In the corner. Jack will restart this possession. And doing well there was Stevenson to spike it out. So 10-second shot clock. Brown assessing into Foxwell. And no contest on the way through. Easy 2 for Owen Foxwell. He was coming off a great season for that Eltham Wildcats lineup in the NBL 1. They did fall to the eventual champions Knox Raiders in the semi-final. They dump it into the low block. Here's Tyler Isaac. And tapped out, just retrieving it was Stevenson. And now coming in is Malik Wade. So Isaac will take a break. for CBU, and Brown and Williams, the two Phoenix Stars, will take a spell as well. And first minutes for Ben Air. And Zach Rosetto as well. Good chance to see some of this younger unit today, Ollie, as Rosetto inside the keyway, muscles his way in, and he'll earn him at the stripe.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Ben Air can do for the Phoenix this season. Such an exciting player, and as you mentioned, played an incredible game and losing effort last night, but I'm sure he'll be a great player for the Phoenix this season.
Interesting scenario, isn't it, to fall by a slim margin in a grand final and front up the next day, really the next morning. It's a midday tip here. And perhaps it's a good thing for him. You can just wipe the game from your memory, if you like, straight back into it, new season, move on quick. What are your thoughts, Ollie? Yeah,
just to come into a different locker room, see a bunch of different faces, you can kind of refresh and be like, all right, this is a new storyline, and now it's all about wielding this Phoenix team to success in NBL 24.
He should have a big role as well off the bench this season, as his acrobatic drive through there from Daniels Jr. Couldn't get it to go. Phoenix basketball. Coach Rick Croy doesn't love the call at all. Don't want to be seeing technicals or anything like that in a preseason fixture. Referee happy to let it go.
As Blondo Chiquino checks in for CBU.
So Ben Air, big screen there from Rosetto. Lost it momentarily. Foul call. Looks like it'll be on Malik Wade. The junior out of Brazil in the NBA Academy. And he will take a spell.
And if you like what you see today from the Phoenix, their first game is against Melbourne United on the 28th of September, and first home game is the 1st of October against Perth at the John Cain Arena, obviously.
Well, Foxwell nearly got it to go. That is a terrific fixture to start the season, Ollie, against Melbourne and Perth. Make sure you get down to that first home game.
I'll be there for sure.
Statman guarding the ball. Driving hard there is Stevenson. Gets his shot away. That's tough. Brings them back within a solitary point. Gack. Statman coming to the hoop. Opted against it. Now Foxwell. He gets it back from Rosetto. Goes himself on the left hands. Fan favourite, no doubt about it, Owen Foxwell. Bulleen Jr., highly exciting guard prospect. They dump it down low, CBU. And the foul call goes against Rosetto.
Just earlier, the high screens that the Phoenix are setting are getting the CBU defenders a bit lost, and they've found a few open looks, a few nice drives, and also Gary Brown was able to get free for that three-pointer and knock it down.
Nyes checked in as well for the Phoenix. Stevenson really lost Statman. Goodrick's back out there. The Sydney native. Contest from Air was good. Last touch by Goodrick. As we spoke of pre-game as well, Ollie, a massive Australian connection between California Baptist. Who are some of the names that have come through this program that fans would know?
Isaac White was briefly at CBU. Bull Kuol is obviously a NBL vet, and he spent 4 or 5 years as the Phoenix get the AM1. And someone that you've had a lot to do with, Tristan Forsyth, also a CBU alumni.
Absolutely, spent some time with the Phoenix in previous seasons as Forsyth. And a Waverley Falcons member as well, as you mentioned, Ollie. A call forward during the winter.
An absolute pro, isn't he?
He's certainly trouble on the low block. Rosetto makes on the free throw. So the Phoenix have opened up a 6-point lead here.
Fun fact about Anzac Rossetto, actually related to the ex-NFL star Ricky Ellison, who was a linebacker in the NFL for the 49ers and the Raiders.
Right, there you go. That is some athletic pedigree in the family. As the Phoenix force another turnover.
And fell in love with basketball at a camp run by Stephen Adams in New Zealand.
That's great to see. Stephen Adams having his influence on the game in his native country. Ben Air around the pick. Now Nye. Just off on the free ball. Fighting hard there was Rosendale. Isaac did well for CBU. Now Daniels. Coleman's posting up. Gets to his spot. Muscles his way up. Battled hard, but not quite. Statman. Rosendale will skip pass. And Air will reset. Rossetto slips. Now Air will go for three. Picking up where he left off last night, Ben Air. Chris Childs. Oh, nice find to Isaac in the painted area. Has Rossetto off his feet. So he'll have two to come at the line.
Nifty work there by Chris Childs. Finding the open man. And Isaac will be heading to the free throw line for two.
A freshman for CBU. Out of California. Tell us a bit about Tyler Isaac, Ollie.
So I've done a bit of family history for him as well. His dad, Donnie, was an All-American tennis player at USC and part of the 1991 NCAA championship team for tennis.
He makes on the first. Some success across multiple sports for this family, and he splits a pair on the line on that occasion. Rosendale probing. How's Rossetto on the perimeter? It's deflected though. Chuqueño. They're moving through their rotations very quickly here, CBU. Giving a lot of players a run in this preseason hit out. Nye. He's there to provide the pick for Air. Opts against it. Poked away though by Daniels Jr. Can he get free Air? He's got a heave. Nearly went off the glass. Good defense, CBU. Now Daniels will step into a three. It's back heel. Statman can rip and go. Nye uses his length beautifully. Great finish in traffic. 10-point ball game. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Down low. Going to work is Kendall Coleman. Good defense from Nye. Good few moments for him. Statman. 2-on-2 situation. Goes himself. And we've got a wedgie.
Nice 30 seconds for Nye there. Was the trailer. Ran into it in stride. Drived it straight to the basket for two. And then gets the tough contested rebound as well.
Phoenix shuffle through their lineups. We'll bring in four of the starters. Rosendale defending the ball. Goodrick tries to take Gack off the dribble. Former CBU alumni himself, Gorjak Gack. Referees found a foul. From the Phoenix perspective, Ollie, certainly going to be a pro coming into this year with some continuity. As Daniels takes contact, tough finish. Impressive stuff from the sophomore. Continuation, 3 throws to come.
Yeah, obviously from a Phoenix perspective at the moment, it's all about getting those reps into the younger players, incorporating them into trainings, into all the sets, all the plays, and then when the cavalry rolls in, led by Mitch Creek, that's when the season begins, and they'll really come together as a unit.
And to bring back as well 2 of their imports, Williams and Brown, it's huge. It's always a coup when you return a quality import for a second year. As Brown drains the 3 ball.
Well, it displays you're also an extremely well-run organisation and a fun place to work.
It does.
Because you're not going to come back if it's not fun.
Absolutely, especially when it's on the other side of the world from your home.
Correct.
Goodrick. Would have been a tough finish. Williams did just enough. Inside the lane. Second chance. Goodrick contesting. Williams taps it up and in. Persistence from the big fella. And here's one Alan Williams that's really acclimatised to the Australian basketball scene. Loving his time down here by all reports. Now Brown running point for the Phoenix. Shot clock off. Last shot of this first quarter. Brown gets to the free throw line, and it'll be a turnover. 2.5 for CBU to work with. Here we go. Daniels Jr. Time expires. That'll do it for the end of 1, and the Phoenix have opened up a 12-point advantage at the quarter-time break. Ollie Landos, what have you seen so far for Southeast Melbourne? No, we might have a bit of time put back on here. 0.5 to be exact. So we'll get your thoughts in just a moment, Ollie. I'll let you stew on that. Can get enough time for a jumper here. CBU with a solid screen. Daniels Jr. will inbound. Hunter Goodrick's out there. What can they draw up here, CBU? Corner 3, no good. So there we go. It's 27 plays 15 at the quarter-time break, Ollie. Phoenix with a good start.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Phoenix. They're getting the classic sort of game from a professional team that's playing a younger side. You can see that their bigger players such as Williams and Rosetto are having a clear advantage in the size department, but to be fair, Williams has an advantage in the size department at all times as he led the NBL last season in rebounding. But from a CBU perspective, I've been quite impressed. Daniels Jr. has 10 early points, and he's exciting. He moves laterally so well, and they're bringing the energy. They're down by 12, but they shouldn't be too disheartened with how their first quarter has gone.
Absolutely, especially started the game in particularly strong fashion as well. Got out to a 7-0 run to start things off, and the Phoenix instead have retaken control, especially as you would expect when their starting unit is back out on the floor. Seen some good things as well, I thought, from Nye off the pine for the Phoenix.
Yeah, he was extremely impressive. As I said, he had a nice little patch there late in the first quarter where he got a rebound and a trailing layup, and he should be a lot of an exciting prospect for this season.
He should be. Ben Ayres got some good minutes off the bench. Rosetto, who you've mentioned as well, has been terrific, and Gary Brown is 2 of 2 from deep to start this one off, 6 points.
Yeah, Gary Brown just moves so well on the court. He uses those high screens beautifully, comes around them, creates so much space for himself, and he's got a lovely jump shot, doesn't he?
Oh, he certainly does. Mike Kelly, this is his first quarter-time huddle for the Phoenix. Coming aboard, exciting times if you're a Phoenix fan. Of course, he's no stranger to the Southeast Melbourne basketball community. In 1996, he was grand final MVP and champion for the Southeast Melbourne Magic, of course, back in those days. And great to see him back associated with this part of the world, Ollie.
Yeah, it's good when someone has experience with a franchise like that. They can roll in, and obviously it was a while ago, but just be that little bit extra familiar with how the franchise is run.
It's certainly got to have some sentimental value, if nothing else, for Mike, I would imagine.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, as I said, I'm very keen for that interview at halftime with you and Tommy Greer, just to find out a little bit more about him.
Actually, a stick around. Williams nearly drained it. CBU's first chance at second quarter points. Goodrick provides the screen. Chiquainho kicks it out. Washington wants to lose Vague. Gets around, nice move, just can't convert. And Brown snatches on it. Gax there. Washington nearly came up with a steal. Gack in the keyway. And the foul call, perhaps a little unlucky on Wade. Fresh 14 for the Phoenix. Trying to get it to Vague and infringed on the way up. Two quick fouls against CBU.
Vague obviously won 3 NBL championships with Perth.
Here he is on cue from the corner, Reece Vague. Puts it down for 3.
Spent a bit of time in Japan as well, playing professionally there.
And the skipper this season for the Phoenix, at least in this game. Goodrick. Deflected, Gax there, Vague dives on it. Now the Phoenix are away. Down court, Gorzak Gak, they've got a foul. He'll head to the line. That one goes against Hunter Goodrick. He's transferred from South Dakota as well, Ollie, to join his brother, freshman Tasman Goodrick. And he's 6'10", Tasman, a little bit taller than his brother at 6'7". Hopefully we see some minutes from him.
Tall timber coming out of that family.
Certainly. Hunter Goodrick will take a break. And Gack is good on the first. Spent his first 3 years in college at Florida before transferring to CBU in his senior year. Put up some good numbers as well, I might add, Ollie. In double-digit scoring for the first time in his college career in a CBU uniform.
And recently won the NBL 1 West Defensive Player of the Year.
Impressive stuff. As Daniels Jr. steps back for 3. Vague. Oh, just snatched out of mid-air from Coleman. Great defense. Chiquainho. Coleman wants the handoff. Chiquainho, now he'll back it up. 9 seconds. Wade provides the pick. Williams switches onto the ball. Can he take advantage? Daniels Jr., that'll be a foul call. 3 free throws coming up. End of shot clock situation. And the Phoenix have given up 3 charity shots.
Definitely a bit of a bailout foul there. Brown didn't need to be as close, but got stuck around a screen and elected to go above it and fouled. And CBU will get 3 chances at the free throw line. But besides that play, which again is a slight stitch up because of the screen, he had nowhere else to go. But the Phoenix are playing extremely mature basketball, making the extra pass, keeping their head up, throwing it ahead, and overall just slowly chipping away and extending a lead on CBU.
It's been a 18 to 3 run for the Phoenix since the scoreline was 12-11 about halfway through the first quarter. They have controlled it in a mature fashion, like you mentioned, Ollie. And Daniels Jr. does his job at the line. Now Foxwell under a lot of pressure. Turnover. Stevenson turns the Jets on and the jam. Defense to offense for CBU. Now Brown. Foxwell with a handoff. No call, says the referee. Short on the floater. Stevenson moves it ahead. They're going to work in transition, CBU. Can't come up with the points that time. As Austin Rapp will make his first appearance of the afternoon.
And second appearance in this arena for the weekend.
I was just about to mention, played an important role as well.
Yeah, how was his game last night?
Well, Decker Kuth got himself into some foul trouble, so Rapp off the bench was required as Ben Air nearly. Austin Rapp was required off the bench to play some important minutes, and he stood up when it counted against Dane Pinot of the Sabres, who, as NBL fans will know, can seriously rebound the basketball. So, impressive stuff from the DP for the Phoenix. Malik Wade, high post situation. Chiquinho for three, drains it. Little mini run here for CBU. Rapp, hand off to Foxwell. Now Vague in the corner. Time for the bench unit to get some minutes for Mike Kelly's team. It's got to be one of the real important parts of these pre-season fixtures, I would have thought, Ollie, is the bench unit really gets some time in these matches to get some chemistry together in a competitive situation.
Definitely. It's a great time to give your bench unit extended minutes, not just short bursts that you get during the regular season. I just want to mention Coleman for CBU has had a couple of cracking rebounds in the last couple minutes. Serious athlete.
Serious athlete and a great defensive touch as well. His timing has been immaculate.
It's very easy on the eye with those rebounds when you grab it with one hand and they slap it with the other.
And certainly, as the referee intervenes here, Phoenix get a chance at mid-court to chap things over. And Stevenson will bring us back in. Ben Air defending the rock. Gets inside the lane and it falls home. Back to 6 points the margin. Rapp. Down low is Vague, no look dime and denied there by Isaac.
Brantley Stevenson brings it down into Coleman. Out to Childs. Childs loses it to Foxwell.
Now Foxwell will bring it up. Rosetto. Hand off from Vague. Wrap the handoff. He'll retrieve it back. Fires from three. Vague's there battling. And a foul call first against CBU. Goes against Stevenson. Just his first personal.
Tough call there for the undersized CBU. Vague used his veteran skill set and just dove in there and drew the foul.
And a timeout on the floor as well. 30 plays 24, halfway through this second quarter. And encouragingly for CBU, they've rolled off a bit of a run here, Ollie.
Yeah, CBU have had a fantastic start to the second quarter. Daniels continues to set the tone, finding his teammates and also scoring 12 points on his own. Stevenson 4 points, and Chikongwe with 5 points as well. And CBU, they're taken to this professional side.
They certainly are. And currently all tied up in the rebounding column as well, 13 apiece, which is probably going to be one of the KPIs we look at throughout the afternoon, given the size and strength difference. Can't expect CBU to come away with that one, but currently, second quarter scoring, Ollie, CBU lead at 9-3.
As we know, even if you've got the physical advantage, a lot of rebounding is effort. And CBU so far in this game are bringing that effort, and they're getting rewarded with winning some rebounding battles.
As you pointed out as well, Kendall Coleman has been particularly impressive from that standpoint.
Yeah, he's, as I said, an extremely talented athlete and setting the tone. And I've also found that offensively, they've been giving it to him down the block, and the offense has been running around him, and he is sure to find the open man as well.
Cody Statman out there on the floor for Phoenix. Many fans of Aussie hoops will know he's the first Australian to win an NCAA championship on the men's side.
And obviously has represented Australia at the FIBA World Cup under-17s.
Was a crucial part of some of those great junior programs. Ben Air, nice find. Rosetto, good off the glass.
And a calming basket for this Phoenix team, who were scoreless for a while there.
He breaks the run. But for CBU, so far it's proven when this bench unit is out on the floor for the Phoenix, they are well and truly in the ball game. Tough finish there from Childs. Rosendale has Rapp at the top. Can they get motoring now, the Phoenix bench? Rosetto on the low block. Goes to work. Hook shot, falls home. Chiquinho with the rock, running point. Goes to work on Rosetto. Down low, shot away. And Coleman on the follow. Rapp, oh, nice find. Rosendale kicks it out. Last touch, Statman. And a big amount of substitutions here for CBU. Goodrick's back out there. Daniels Jr.'s back out there. And the Phoenix as well will bring their starters in. Here's Daniels Jr. Now Childs. Needs some movement here off the ball. Daniels Jr. step back, loses Rosendale. That would have been pretty. Now retrieves it back. Oh, found Wade with the no-look dime. Can he recover? He does. Draws the foul. Wade will head to the line for two. So apologies to our CBU listeners. We've had an inconsistency with the jersey numbers between Tyler Isaac and Udrago. We've called that wrong throughout. Back on track now up in the booth. Wade at the line. And they're staying right in this game. Two-possession ball game, Ollie.
Yeah, Phoenix, I feel like they got a bit too comfortable there. Took the foot off the gas a little bit, and the youthful CBU have attacked on that. And now only trailed by 4 points with just over 3.5 minutes left here in the first half.
Brown. 4-point ball game. Statman. Game on here at the State Basketball Centre. Mike Kelly's put back in Brown and Williams. Can they regain control? Consummate professionals. Brown, long rebound. Williams. I don't think he had to heave it straight away there, Ollie.
I was just about to say, it touched the rim, so the shot clock would have reset, but he must have missed that one and chucked it up as Daniels comes down and misses the short Jumper out to Gary Brown. Drives, puts it up with his left hand and puts it in. Lovely shot there by Gary Brown.
Goodrick moving it quickly. Great movement. CBU. Chris Giles. Not quite. You love the intent. Well, of your CBU. Here's Rosendale. Did just enough to tap it out. Brown puts it on the deck. Straight down the middle and forces contact. And Brown's been the difference when he's on the floor.
He's such an offensive talent. So hard to stay in front of him. We've been very complimentary of CBU's ability to defend and stay in front of the Phoenix opponent, but they just don't have an answer for Gary Brown. When he decides to put on the Jets and go around you, there's no standing in front of him.
Brown at the line to bring his tally into double figures with the next free throw. And make that 10 to his name. Phoenix back out by 8. Foxwell up in defense. Can he cause a steal? Daniels Jr. spins out a try. Stevenson's there on the wing. He gets the shot away. Foxwell crashing the glass. And now Goodrick's diving on it. Great hustle. Stevenson finishes off a chaotic but impressive possession for CBU.
That's 6 points for Stevenson. We said last night he played well, and he's played well today as well. As Gary Brown misses the layup, the Australian Goodrick with the rebound and gets fouled by Alan Williams.
CBU ball. And both teams are in the bonus now. The rest of the way.
How exciting is Dominic Daniels Jr. to watch? Moves so well. He's so quick. Gets plays slightly out of control at times, but when he's able to look after that basketball, he's very easy on the eye.
Only a sophomore as well. You can see the skill set he brings. The explosiveness that you mentioned, Ollie, and the polish that will come with 4 years in college. It's going to be some player and no doubt a great pro down the line as well.
Definitely, and just not scared of the professional opponent. Just goes straight at them, undersized, does not care. A little bit of Ja Morant about him.
I like it. Timeout on the floor. 4-point ball game. 2 minutes remaining in this first half, and stick around as well at the halftime break because Tommy Greer is going to join us up here in the booth to chat all things Phoenix basketball. That'll be terrific.
We've been teasing it all in the first half, and I'm extremely looking forward to that chat, Liam.
It's going to be great. CBU remain in this ball game, and it feels to me, unsurprisingly, Ollie, but the bench unit, the difference between the starters and the bench unit for the Phoenix has been when CBU have put these runs together. Definitely,
and obviously they've played a couple of other NBL teams on their Australian tour, so maybe they're getting a bit more acclimatised to the NBL basketball and how it's usually played. And maybe they've copped a couple of L's and they're just like, not today. We're going to come at these guys and try and steal a win. But from a Phoenix perspective, it does really seem that they can kind of turn it on whenever CBU get close. So they'll be looking to close this 2 minutes of the first half with a little bit of a run so they can go into the locker room feeling a bit more comfortable with where they're at.
And led by the 10 points of Gary Brown, who has taken control when he's needed to, like you mentioned, Ollie. And, of course, if you have just joined us, no Mitch Creek, Ruben Tarangi, Matt Kenyon and Craig Moller. Not in uniform for this preseason hit-out. So some pretty decent cavalry as well that the Phoenix are going to bring back into this squad.
They'll be rearing to go for the opening game of the season on the 28th of September. And then the first home game on the 1st of October against Perth.
Foxwell. Now Williams. At the top. Vague trying to get open. Foxwell loses him off the dribble. Vague's wing 3 ball is good. 4th triple for the Phoenix in this first half. 4 of 9 from that spot. Now Goodrick's wide open. Not quite. Vague. Williams at the elbow. He's doubled. Wants some space. Creates it with the shoulder. And no good. Can't get the call from the referee either. Turns the Jets on. How's the aggression? Love to see it from Dominique Daniels Jr.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching him in this first half. Stays aggressive. Has 12 points to go along with that. And it's been definitely the standout player for CBU in the first half.
It's a battle to stay in front of this man. That first step is lightning quick. Wade. Hand off Stevenson. Fade away, baseline, just short. Now Brown. Gax rolling to the hoop. Wrap back out there as well. That's off the foot of CBU, I think. No. Play on, says the referee. Goodrick. Here's that man again. He is the danger man for CBU. And can't get the lay in to fall. So Gary Brown. Last look potentially here for the Phoenix. 7-point leaders going into the half. Brown's been money from this spot all game long.
It's those high screens, Liam. I mentioned it earlier. Gary Brown is so smart at using those high screens to create space for himself to knock down that three.
Hunter Goodrick denied by Rapp. Great way to finish the first half. And the Phoenix have a 10-point advantage going into the halftime break. And stick around as well, because Phoenix GM Tommy Greer is just about to join us in a moment to chat all things Heartland basketball as Owen Foxwell chats things over with the ref. And we'll hear from Tommy in just a moment. Gary Brown's been terrific here. 13 points leads the way for South East Melbourne. And he's 3 of 3 from beyond the arc as well. We've got Tommy Greer here. Tommy, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining us here.
No worries at all.
Appreciate your time. Of course, a few big changes coming into this season for the South East Melbourne Phoenix. Exciting times, really. I mean, foundation coach Simon Mitchell has done a great job for the first 4 seasons. Now to bring in Mike Kelly as well. Talk us through that appointment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think over the past 4 years, we've set a great foundation for the club, and now it really is about taking that next step and starting to really zero in on winning that first championship. And really excited to have Mike on board. He's really gelled with the players early on so far in this off-season, so excited to see what he can do with the group.
How have you seen this first half of pre-season action so far?
Pretty messy, to be honest.
Yep.
But that's to be expected. Obviously, new coaching staff, a lot of new players on this roster, new system, a whole lot of new. So it's always going to be a little bit junky to start off with, but seeing a lot of really good signs out there as well. So, yeah, once again, excited to see the rest of it play out.
Is there a chance for some of the bench unit to really
Absolutely.
gel in these games?
Absolutely. It was a big focus for us going into last off-season as well. We wanted to really shore up our second unit, wanted to become a lot tougher. When we were making rotations through the team, wanted that bench to be a really strong defensive unit. And, adding players like Matt Kenyon, Gorjak Gak, 2 NBL 1 defensive players of the years in their respective conferences, I think were great additions. As you said tonight, it really is about sort of getting some minutes into those development players, getting some minutes into that bench unit, and then really sort of slowly bringing along some of those starters as well.
Plenty of players who have started in their respective NBL 1 conferences. Of course, we saw one of your development players in Austin Rapp prevail last night for Knox. That's pretty exciting for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a great situation for us because we were going to be winners no matter what. We had Ben here on the other side, and we had Austin for Knox. So, very excited to see Knox get the win. It's been a long time since they've won the NBL 1 South. So, very excited for them as an association and well deserved.
And for Ben as well, he had a great season for Sandringham, but he's going to be a big part of this bench unit, it looks like, for the Phoenix.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's going to have to hold a bit of that scoring load, but we're going to look for him to be more of a distributor than you've seen of him in the past as well. So we also think he brings a fair bit of grit and toughness to that bench unit as well. He doesn't take a step backwards. If you've ever seen him play, he likes to get in and under. So, he'll bring a lot to that second unit.
And some continuity as well with the imports coming back. Gary Brown, Alan Williams. It's always a big coup when you return imports in this league.
Yeah, it really is, especially imports of that calibre, to be able to return the league leader in assists and the league leader in rebounds, I think puts you in a really strong position going into any NBL season. So add that to the continuity, having Creek back, some of the additions. It's sort of shaping up to be a pretty good year.
Of course, late during the week as well, you announced Will Cummings. Exciting signing. That resume, MVPs in France, Germany. Really excited about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's in terms of resume, I'm not sure I've seen a more credentialed sort of import come out here with, like you said, the German MVP, the French MVP, All-Star 5 in the Euro Cup, led the French League in scoring, led the Greek League in scoring. He's sort of done everything. So pairing him in the backcourt with Gary, having two capable ball handlers, but one of them who's focused on distributing and one of them who's focused on scoring, and that sort of plays into their skill sets. I think it's going to work really well.
Spent some time with Alan Williams as well for 2 seasons in Russia.
Yes.
Does that influence anything?
Yeah, it does. Alan was a great asset for us in recruiting Will. It always helps to have some level of connection when you're talking about high-level guys like that. Someone who that they can trust when talking to about what the situation is actually going to look like. Alan was a massive help in getting that done. And
to be a reference point as well for the organisation and the people they're going to work with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, certainly. So obviously as well, looking at this roster, there's a few guys here that are adding a bit of grunt. You've got obviously Mitch Creek returning from Puerto Rico. He had an off-season stint there. He's not playing today, just easing back into things.
Yeah, easing back in. I mean, we started pre-season a week ago, so it's a pretty early on game for us. We just wanted to get our first hit out of the way, basically. So obviously we'll ease in some of those starters who've been playing internationally. You won't see a lot of minutes from Alan Williams tonight either. Kenyon's coming in slowly. All these guys who played big minutes in the off-season, you've just got to be a bit careful with. Yeah.
Ryan Brockhoff finished up last season. Got to replace a bit of shooting on this squad. How do you look at doing that?
Yeah, look, I think it's by committee. It's difficult to replace a level of shooter that Ryan is. But in the addition of Will Cummings, he's a near 40% shooter. I think something that's going to catch people off guard is Craig Moller. So since leaving the NBL, he's become a really sort of dynamic shooter from beyond the arc, and he's been around that 40% mark as well. So I think he's going to add something to that sort of wing as well.
He certainly will. First home game, of course, against United, against Perth.
Against Perth,
okay.
Yes.
Yep. 28th of September is where it all kicks off.
Yeah, 28th is an away game, so we're focusing in on that 1st of October, and that's our home game against the Purple Wildcats.
It's going to be exciting at John Cain Arena. Make sure you get down. There's a good atmosphere as well here as well today. It looks like in excess of 1,500 for a pre-season hit out.
Yeah, well and truly. I think we'd be sort of starting to push towards it too. It's fantastic. It is clearly the biggest pre-season game we've been a part of in our existence. So it's great to see that the South East Melbourne fans getting out here nice and early. They've clearly missed their basketball, and hopefully they all get along to their first game against the Wildcats.
It is the heartland, as we know, and it is not just a shtick. I mean, we saw it last night. Obviously, knocks a huge crowd down here for the NBL 1 finals, and I reckon there'd be a few returning fans today here too. Yeah,
it's incredible. Like you said, it was a sellout last night for the NBL 1 finals, and to see so many show back up the next morning for a pretty early tip-off time of 12 p.m. is a great effort.
Tommy, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time. Best of luck for the season.
No worries. Good on you. Thanks, mate.
Thank you. So 5 minutes remaining in this halftime break, 10-point lead. Great to have Tommy with us here in the booth. Liam Ellison and Ollie Landos will be back very, very shortly. Might have a quick 2 or 3 minute break, Ollie, and then we'll talk all things the first half before ripping into the second half of this one. Stick with us. Welcome back to the State Basketball Centre for this one, the Phoenix and CBU. We thought we'd have a short break there at the half. Great to hear, though, from Tommy Greer, Liam Elson and Ollie Landos to bring the second half of this one to you. Got a few interesting nuggets out of him there. He was sort of explaining that, it is a little bit messy in this first pre-season game, as you would suspect, but they're building into this season slowly, and they really feel like they put together some good depth, is what I got out of that interview, Ollie, for NBL 24.
Yeah, did he seem pretty confident for NBL 24?
I think so. Confident in the squad he's put together.
Yep.
It's an even league, isn't it? You can never be too confident about where things are going to fall come the end of the year, but you give yourself the best chance with the roster makeup, and that seems to be what they've done, I think. Of course, CBU have made a bit of a game of it in the first half, Ollie. What have you seen so far through the first 20 minutes?
Yeah, so CBU have had this high-intensity approach to the game, and they trailed by 10, but it got very close there at the end of the first half, and the Phoenix kind of put the foot down and extended it out to 10 points at halftime, as we suspected they would. I've been really impressed with CBU's defense, other than against Gary Brown, who not many people can guard him anyway, but they've been able to stand in front of them, keep them out of the key, because the Phoenix obviously have a size advantage. But Phoenix, I feel like they're putting some units out there that probably haven't played too much basketball together, whereas with CBU they've probably been playing together for a bit longer. So there's a bit of some careless passes, some not exactly knowing where your teammate is sort of going on out there, but the professional side of them has really come out when CBU have got close.
And Alan Williams as well. Tommy did flag it. We might not see too much of him in the second half, as they're not going to put huge minutes into their stars, but perhaps, they could make a bit of a game of it here, Ollie. If we see some of the big guys have a rest for the Phoenix, all of a sudden, could it be close down the stretch?
Yeah, definitely. As you said, if they're resting Alan Williams and they're more senior players, they give them less minutes, then it does turn into a bit of a youthful battle, because it'll be the younger players for Phoenix going against the young college athletes. So we'll see what sort of lineups Southeast Melbourne put out there, and it could be a cracker.
Here we go. CBU will start us off with possession. Here's Hunter Goodrick with the rock. Now down low. In the post. Backing down vague. 3 ball just short. Yak was there. Goodrick did really well. Fresh 14 for CBU. Here's Judrago. Tries to go to work. Nice footwork. Finish wasn't there. Now Brown looking to put the pressure on straight away. 13 first half points for him. Foxwell with the quick V cut. They'll reset via Brown. Yak rolls to the hoop. 5 seconds. Brown's got to go here. Working on Daniels Jr. Fade away. Great contest. Good D, CBU. Daniels Jr. with a chance to slow it up. And interesting to hear as well about the recruiting process with Will Cummings. Ollie is just short on the floater is Daniels Jr. battling hard though, and he's nearly retained possession. Phoenix basketball stating that it was almost the most impressive resume that he's seen coming out into the NBL with what he's done in Europe, playing in so many different leagues in a successful manner as well.
Yeah, an absolute pro. We mentioned at the start of this game how many different countries he's played in, and won MVPs in different countries, which I'm not sure how many people can even say that. But did he touch on how he went about recruiting someone like that?
He did. He mentioned that Alan Williams was important in that process. Of course, it really does help when you can have someone to vouch for the program, like he spoke about, the people, the environment, the place to live as well. It's a huge recruiting advantage, I would have thought, for any club. As the 3 ball from the corner just off. Goodrick battling hard. Now Stevenson fights up between the trees. And Foxwell catches CBU napping.
Lovely pass there again, just some mature basketball by the Phoenix. CBU worked hard for that basket, but then just gave it away with not trotting back on defense.
You can tell there's been couple of championship games here last night, Ollie, but it's the new net down the left side of the court. Cut him down last night as Gary Brown with the floater.
It's a very good eye, Liam. Very good eye.
Here's Daniels Jr. 12-point advantage to the home side Phoenix. Might be a crowd close to 2,000 as well, Tommy flagged, which is really, that is awesome for a pre-season game. Goodrick on the perimeter, 3 seconds, got to go. Uses his length, but not quite.
What about from a coaching perspective? Did you touch on Mike Kelly?
He did touch on Mike Kelly. Obviously excited to get him in the program as Brown is fouled on the way down. That's a big call for the program, isn't it? I mean, Simon Mitchell's been there for 4 years, did a good job, and they decided to make the move. So it's going to be fascinating, really. I think it sent shockwaves, perhaps the wrong word. It was a big announcement around the league to bring in Mike Kelly to this Phoenix franchise. I think a lot of people are interested to see what he can do with the squad. There's a lot of talent on this roster, as we know. Can they make that championship run? Time will tell.
And as we know, the coaching landscape is just such a treacherous place to be involved. It's such a tough profession. As we see in basically any professional sport, coaches always come in and out. But it's important to recognise, and I'm sure Tommy Greer knew that maybe the roster just needed a new personality in the locker room.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it is almost, to an extent, a little bit cyclical as a coach. You kind of have a little bit of an expiry date sometimes. A new voice just gives that new coach bounce, and that's what the Phoenix maybe will be benefiting from this season. Fighting hard to the hoop there was Daniels Jr. Brown probing. Now Stoutman. 3-ball not quite. Brown did well, and the foul call to match.
Great rebound there by Brown. Gets fouled as well. He's now up to 17 points. 5 of 10 from the field. 5 assists as well to go along with that, and only 1 turnover. So he's having a fantastic first outing in the NBL pre-season.
So timeout on the floor. Mitch Creek out there to get his teammates quickly back into the huddle. Great to see him with the jersey on as well, Ollie. Feeling right a part of it.
Well, Mitch Creek, we know that he loves his hoops more than anything, so he's probably been told that he can't play today.
Yeah.
Because he was probably he's probably sitting at the edge of his seat just like, geez, I'd love to be out there getting some shots up.
I think you're spot on there. A chance to see some of the other players a part of the squad in this one. We see so many juniors in the crowd as well here supporting the Phoenix. They've really carved out a nice fan base here in this part of Melbourne since coming into the league half a decade ago. 14-point ball game, Ollie. 3.5 into this third quarter. Phoenix just churning away here. It's an important few moments for CBU. Obviously, these games aren't necessarily about wins and losses, I know, but I'm sure they'd love to try and steal one at some point. 100%,
and they've come all the way to Australia. They're not looking to go home without a victory, and they're going to keep coming, but I suspect that they need to knock down some three-point shots and have someone really get hot to really put the pressure on, because kind of going through the motions and matching baskets with South East Melbourne just won't be enough, especially when they're already in a 14-point hole.
Daniels Jr. played a massive role in that first half, as did Malik Wade. Here's Washington. 8 seconds. Coleman provides the pick. Stevenson. He's swift out of the ball screen. Not quite on the mid-range too. Brown. Nice find to Foxwell. Just couldn't convert on the three, and that is smart stuff from Stevenson. He may have just had a foot on the baseline. So a timeout as well. With Phoenix and CBU back to the benches to chat things over. For CBU, it's the 11th season for Rick Croy with the California Baptist program.
Just had an eye on Rick Croy, and he was pretty frustrated with that as he goes out onto the court and goes through the motions. But he was frustrated there. I felt like he was frustrated because they didn't call it initially when he stepped out of bounds, but called it after the fact. But again, he's seems like a great coach and has been pushing his team, and they've come out aggressive today.
Absolutely. Scoring leaders, Gary Brown, 17 points, 5 dimes, leads all comers in this game. And Anzac Rosetto has 9 points in 9 minutes as well, 3 of 4 shooting. He's been good off the pine for the Phoenix. But you spoke of him earlier in the contest, Ollie. Dominique Daniels Jr. has been the one to watch from the CBU perspective.
Yeah, regardless of what happens today, I'm definitely in the Dominique Daniels Jr. fan club. Been really enjoying watching him play. Any of those smaller guards that move laterally super fast and just don't have any fear, they're always exciting to watch, and I'm interested to see where he takes his basketball career.
One to watch. Mark it down if you're a Hoops fan. Foxwell. 14-second shot clock to work with. Now Brown steps into a 3. Rosetto on the O-glass. Now he's on the low block. Working in the post. Has the size advantage. Nice hook shot. Phoenix are rolling here in the third. Daniels Jr. turns on the Jets. Coleman provides the pick. 3 seconds.
I don't think Daniels has turned off the Jets the whole game. He's steaming down the court every time he gets the ball.
He hasn't. You're right. His change of pace, though, is the thing that makes him so hard to stay in front of. He looks the quickest man out on the floor by a fair stretch, doesn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a Dominique Daniels Jr. versus Gary Brown 1v1.
That would be fascinating.
A lateral masterclass.
Rosetto. Now vague, rolls to the hoop. Nice defense from Coleman. No, infringed. 2 shots. Kendall Coleman, a senior out of CBU. He's played a big role defensively today for the visitors, Ollie. Out of LSU as well, his previous school.
Very strong forward, averaging 15 points and 10 rebounds in the college setting.
Impressive numbers as Daniels Jr. takes the spell. Rosetto good from the line on the first. And he makes on the second. And of course, make sure you get down to the Phoenix's first home game against the Perth Wildcats. 1st of October, that is going to be awesome at John Cain Arena. 2 great clubs going head-to-head as NBL action kicks off. Not too far away now as well, Ollie. Hard at the hoop there is Jaquan Yo. Stays with CBU. Austin Rapp comes in, as does Rosendale. $14 to work with. Coleman gets around Rosetto. Great move. Like what we've seen from him. 7 boards, 4 points now off the bench.
He's just an extremely talented athlete and great ball sense as well. Knows where to position himself for rebounds and plays outstanding defense as well.
Benair at the elbow, slowed up. Stevenson gets in there for CBU. Good hustle from the visitors. Possession arrow favours the Phoenix. Just 2.6 remaining on the shot clock. And another timeout, a flurry of timeouts in his third quarter, Ollie.
Yeah, I guess this is the time to somewhat abuse the timeouts, use them as in a more coaching sense. as opposed to momentum sense in the real regular season. So little bits of information that the coach will want to give to his teammates or to a particular lineup. This is the time to use it as opposed to in the regular season where there are a bit more value to each time out.
A bit more teaching-based rather than game-based situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an astute call by you, Ollie. They'll get a chance to talk over some things they want to work on. It's an 18-point ball game, or 16 rather, excuse me. 4.5 remaining here in the third quarter. Phoenix starting to get control, but encouragingly for the home side, it hasn't been just Gary Brown and the like who have led it. Their bench unit starting to get a bit of an advantage now as well.
Yeah, well, if you just look at the minutes for today, obviously during the regular season you'll have your starters having a majority of the minutes, and then maybe if you've got a strong sixth man or seventh man, they'll chip in. But it's pretty even for the top 10 players today, which is just good because, as we've said, it's all about getting those reps in before the regular season. But from that sort of standpoint, who are you most looking forward to for this Phoenix outfit? For the younger players, who do you think can break out onto the scene?
In NBL 24, it's a big call, one that I'd probably need a little bit more to think about. But Anzac Rosetto has been terrific in this particular game. 13 points, 11 minutes so far. And I think he's really led them here in the third quarter. So interested to see what he can do as an off-the-bench big going into NBL 24. Is there someone you have in mind, Ollie, as well?
Oh, I'm very excited for Ben Air this season.
Yeah.
I think I've seen him on the NBL 1 scene a bit, and I reckon he's such a talent. I'm excited to see what he can do.
That's a good call.
And earning the minutes, which I hope that he does.
I think I'll have to second that for you. There seems to be a real spot for him as that first point guard off the bench with this roster. And here he is on cue. Air trains it. Perfect timing. Ben Air extends the lead for Southeast.
I swear we're not pre-recording this. That was perfect.
Great scenes. And that's something that Tommy Greer did mention as well, Ollie, is he's got some serious grit to him defensively, Ben Air. As Rapp has the deflection. Nice from Malik Wade in the lane. Now Rapp steps into a three, drains it. Got a nice skill set, Austin Rapp, as a stretch big. Played more as a 5 at times last night for Knox, but you suspect that in the NBL it's going to be more of that 4 and maybe even at times a 3, Ollie, do you think?
Yeah, well, not only does he play similar to him, but he also kind of looks like him. Jock Landale.
Yeah.
I feel like he moves around the court in a similar fashion, which what I've observed tonight, but obviously at other games as well. And runs a pretty similar haircut as well.
Yes.
To Jock Landale.
Now you mention it, that is a great call. It was almost like a doppelganger before, the way he took that 3 ball. So at the line here is Jaquinho, junior out of Canada, Montreal to be precise. Phoenix really dominating this third period now, 16-6. The scoreline reads. Gack cleans up the glass.
And we blinked and Phoenix have extended their lead out to 20, flexing their muscles.
Rosendale converts. Good movement from the Phoenix. Childs, wing situation. Rosendale's right there. Real focus on defense with this Phoenix squad. And out of court, so Rosendale doing just enough.
And CBU put in 4 of their starters, it looks like, to somewhat stop this run by Phoenix.
Speaking of defense and the Phoenix, that's something Tommy Greer highlighted as well, bringing in 2 NBL 1 Defensive Players of the Year in their respective conference, Matt Kenyon, Gorjak Gack. And And then in the guard department as well, Ben Eyre can really play some D. We see Rosendale with a good effort before. Important to have those gritty guys off the Pioneer field.
100%, and from the Ben Eyre perspective, he moves laterally so well, as we see there, as he gets called for the foul, but nearly got the steal. That often people think, oh, if you're a smaller guard, you're going to struggle to play defense. But if you've got the aggression and the effort, and you can move laterally and at least be in the right position, look, there'll be times where you get overpowered by a taller person, but that's just basketball when you're dealing with some of the tall timber that we have in the NBL. But Ben Eyre, he always puts in the effort, stays in front of them, and if you're in the right position, you can often be a good defender as well.
Goodrick. Hand off to Brantley Stevenson. He puts up the step back three. Releases Brown. Back into the fray for the Phoenix. Rapp. And off to Rosendale. He gets his shot away and fouled on the closeout. 2 shots coming up. Phoenix are shooting 84% as a team in the game.
How good's the atmosphere here? The pre-season game, everyone's got the clapping hands and the music is loud. Everyone's fired up for this season.
It is good signs, isn't it? Fan base engaged. They're ready to go for NBL 24. I'm sure almost everyone will be there as well. First home game on October the 1st.
Unfortunately for them, they've got to wait another month and a half.
It'll come around quick. He's hoping, Ollie. Some more pre-season fixtures to come as well. Now Daniels Jr. back out there. Doing what he does, but Rapp saw better of it. Tried to slice his way down the middle. Phoenix were there though. Statman inside. Gack open. Rosendale. Extra pass. Rapp for 3. There he is again, Ollie.
There's a play for the highlight reel. That was beautiful basketball. No, it was hot potato passing it around. Everyone was sharing the basketball selflessly. And it's good that Rapp was able to finish that, because it would have been a disappointment if that didn't get any points. Beautiful play there by Phoenix.
Udrago uses his muscle inside. 1 to come. Too strong on that occasion. And the first half was a little bit messy from the Phoenix. It feels like they've been connected pretty well here in the third. The ball movement has taken a tip upwards, I think.
Yeah, well, I think, as we said, we thought that Phoenix might fire up a bit more in this second half, and the intensity by CBU can only take you so far, because when you're coming up against professionals, they can flex their muscles and put the foot down, so to speak.
Missing on the free throw. Goodrick, though. Easy rebound in the end for him. Daniels Jr. Statman nearly came up with a steal. Stevenson, he's got some jets as well. Not quite on that one. Statman, kick out. Brown, there's a shot. No make this time. Daniels Jr. again, this time mishandles. They've got some zest, this young CBU team, but at times you can feel they're just a little bit out of control on occasion. It comes with a young team.
Yeah, I think the play from Dominic Daniels is kind of a microcosm for the team as a whole. They've got great intentions, but sometimes they just play a little bit out of control, which leads to turnovers and sloppy play.
And that's what these hit-outs obviously are all about, to iron out those fine details. I'm sure it'll be a different team come December, January, the CBU.
And obviously these college teams, these players are still learning basketball. If it's their first year in the college space, new coaches, they're learning the game, so they're not finished products here, and nor are the NBL players as well. As you know, you've got to learn throughout your whole career. As you look at some of your favourite players, they usually gain a new skill over their career, so it's important to just continue to learn. But yeah, for CBU, like, a lot of these players are still learning. and developing their identity in the basketball game.
Yeah, that's right. And there's a pathway for many of these players to come up against recent graduates like Gorzak Gak, who starved for the program. That is the difference between college and the pros, as Vague makes on the free throw.
And how awesome for these CBU players, because they'll know that, and they can see the pathway to playing professional basketball.
Yeah, 100%. Vague can't convert on the second. The last shot here for Daniels Jr. That's a Childs, 3 seconds. Pump fake, draws the foul. Too slick on that occasion. Chris Childs at the line. Named the skipper today for California Baptist.
A sophomore out of Citrus College. Born in California.
Plenty of California natives in this team as well, which is great to see for CBU.
What a tremendous athlete Udrago is. He's massive.
He is the one guy you feel can really battle and bruise his way down low with the likes of Williams and Vague, etc.
And he actually has a really interesting story. He was born in France and lived there until he was 7. And then he moved to West Africa and casually began playing basketball at age 9 and then moved back to France. And then entered the college space at Grand Canyon in America.
That is some journey for him. It's great to see an international flavour as well for CBU. Obviously, players from the US, players from Canada, from France, from Australia as well, and the Goodrick brothers. International representation in the program.
The global game on display.
Yes. As Goodrick just misses on the first.
Unfortunately, it's been that sort of day for Goodrick today. 0-6 from the field. As he knocks down that one. It's Vague with the outlet pass. Statman can't look after it, and that is the end of the third quarter.
That does it. 25 points the margin. The Phoenix dominated there in the third period of play. 25-9. They outscored CBU in the period. Impressive stuff for the bench unit as well from the Phoenix. And here's a good display of some of the support the Phoenix have, Ollie. Up and about for the on-court activations. Who's impressed you so far in that third quarter?
I thought Rossetto was really impressive that quarter. Gary Brown continued to play extremely well, 17 points. Rosendale knocked down a 3, and generally I think it was more of a lack of CBU intensity. I don't know if they gassed themselves out in the first half there, but they seemed to be a bit more tired there in that third quarter, and the Phoenix took advantage and put the foot down and now lead by 25 points. Would you believe it?
A dominant position, no doubt about it. 10 minutes to play here. Plenty to work on for both sides here in the pre-season fixture. I feel like the Phoenix have been a little bit more clinical, playing the way they want to play in the third quarter. They were connecting well, extra passes. They found Rapp twice at the top of the perimeter for open threes. Those are the looks they want.
Yeah, they had a couple of highlight plays, as I like to call them, there in that third quarter. I'm sure that one, I think it was about in the middle of the third quarter, will be in the highlights package of when they were just throwing that around, the hot potato play, and it finished it off with a Rapp 3. Rapp was really impressive there in the third quarter. I don't remember him playing in the first half, so maybe they gave him the first half off because of last night.
Quite possibly. If you win a championship, you probably could do with a little lighter day the next day, so could be onto something there, Ollie. But he's looked good off the pine as well. DP for this side, of course. For CBU, their tour continues here with another 10 minutes of action to come at the State Basketball Centre. Doubleheader, of course, for them. Played United last night. So maybe a little bit of a factor with a pretty tight turnaround. The early tip, as we know, 12 p.m. we started here.
The international tours, they can be extremely strenuous.
Yeah.
They stack in those games in a short amount of time. You get a lack of time to acclimatise to the time zone, to the weather, to all those sort of factors. The sleep is an issue, and you're just playing every other day. So they've done well here to take it to this South East Melbourne Phoenix team, and they'll be looking to close this game with just kind of try and win the quarter. Come away with a little bit more of a good little accolade heading into the next game that they have, or if they head home.
Achievable KPI for this side as Brown will start the fourth quarter of action. Foxwell in the starting lineup for this pre-season fixture. Good closeout there from Madrago. And did enough to put Vague off in the end. Here's Goodrick. Scotty Washington to the rack.
Great drive there. Had to lean back a bit on that one because Rossetto was right there with the contest.
Releasing Statman. Last touch from the Phoenix. South East Melbourne remain up in defence. Denying Daniels Jr. Big first half for this man. Nice dime, unattended. Near the basket was Scotty Washington. Back-to-back buckets for that man. Now Brown. Oh, just through the hands of Rossetto. Right idea. Rossetto and Brown, the two players in double-figure scoring for the Phoenix, 17 and 13 respectively. And CBU led by this man, 12 points, all of which came in the first half for Daniels Jr., as Brown will be assessed with the foul. Number 4 for Brown. Sure that won't be a factor in their rotations going down the stretch here. In this particular fixture, here's Goodrick, releases Daniels in traffic, nearly got there on the second chance. Statman wasn't aware, just a miscomm between the two Phoenix players.
Broke one of the basketball golden rules, always have an eye on the ball.
Couple of swipes, Washington in traffic, spiked out, Brown first there. That was clinical. 2-on-1 situation. Foxwell wide open. Not quite.
Scotty Washington, great crossover, drives off to a Drago. Drago puts it in for 2. And a 6-0 run to start this fourth quarter. And it's exactly what we thought that CBU should go after. And great start for them.
Vague. Defending the handoff was Washington. Good start from him in the fourth period. Rossetto provides the pick. Brown into a 3. Goodrick's there on the glass. Here they go again, CBU. Hand off to Daniels. Drago posting up. That time. What's his numbers today, Ollie, or Drago? Vague.
Just 3 points and 3 rebounds for him today.
He showed some moments, I thought. There's Vague for 3. Three-point efficiency today for the Phoenix, sitting at a pretty handy above 40%. They'll do well if they can keep that up throughout the season.
Another thing I've noticed is they haven't been settling for 3-pointers, which is good. I feel like because they're playing a more undersized team, they can feel like they can go to the basket a bit more, which differs from the NBL standard games when it ends up sometimes being a 3-point contest because of the size matching up.
Goodrick. Now Daniels Jr., Washington. 7 points in the period. Comes via the bank shot, doesn't matter.
Celebrated as if he splashed it. Good on him. Good start for this fourth quarter. 7 points, as you mentioned, and is playing with a lot of confidence out there.
Rick Croy highly engaged as well on the sidelines. Brown, Euro stepping through. Foxwell extra pass. Vague on the end of it. And we've seen that set work time and time again in the second half of South East Melbourne.
Vague now up to 12 points as he knocks down another 3-pointer.
Shot selection's been impressive as well, I've thought.
Definitely.
Washington, can he continue his hot run? 4 seconds. Fouled first. So CBU possession. In comes some of the bench unit. Jack as well will return. Stevenson. Both teams subbing at high volume in his pre-season fixture. Kendall Coleman. Liked what we've seen from him too. Wade crashing the glass hard. And a timeout on the floor. Halfway through the final quarter here. 22 points the margin. But it is CBU who is leading the period, Ollie Landos.
Yeah, they've come out with all the energy. Rick Croy is doing a great job of firing up his team despite being down by 20 points or so. We'll also mention that Rick Croy was the assistant coach at St Mary's with Matthew Dellavedova in the early 2010s. Another good Australian connection, and it's good to see him have some involvement with an Australian legend in the basketball space.
Absolutely. Moves to another California program to take the head coach role here at CBU, and he's certainly taken some learnings from the program there down in the Bay Area from St Mary's with the Aussies that they have recruited. They've got their own pipeline now, CBU.
Yeah. And Rick Croy has been at CBU since 2013, which we were talking about the turnover of coaches, which is it's a little bit different in the college realm, but still impressive. He's only 46, so 10 years in at the one program shows just a commitment to the university, to the players, and overall loyalty. You can never knock it.
Absolutely. Obviously impressed with what he's built here with CBU. Similar to Randy Bennett with St Mary's, who's had a long career there and really built that program up from the early 2000s. Here's Rapp. Yak on the perimeter. Single-digit shot clock. Foxwell working hard to get open. What a pass to Gak. Released him, and Wade was forced to foul. Couple of shots coming up for Gorjak Gak.
That pocket pass there by Foxwell was beautiful. Had very little room to make that pass, and found its way straight to Gak's hands, and he knocks down the first free throw.
No good on the seconds. Chiquinho with the rock air, trying to get up in his grill. Now he drives that Rapp. Down low. On the low block is Malik Wade. Comes off the foot of Ben Air. Ref slows it up. So CBU basketball. Chiquinho will inbound. Wade on the perimeter. Air trying to deny. Now he crosses, gets around Air. Hangs and tries to finish. Did really well was Kendall Coleman. Love his energy crashing the glass. Wade in the post. Follows his own miss, and the Phoenix probably fell asleep a bit there. Wade made him pay.
Lovely effort there. CBU, they've maintained the intensity. As Ben Air brings it up. Finds himself on the 45, goes around a Gak screen. Tries to feed into Gak, but it's another turnover for Phoenix, and they've been a bit careless with the ball so far here in the fourth quarter with 3 turnovers. Chiquinho drives, and he matches the turnover with a turnover of his own.
He's picked out Owen Foxwell there on the Phoenix bench. All right, Ben Air with the basketball. 4 minutes remaining in this one. Rapp on the perimeter. Rosendale tries to slash to the hoop. Air over to Nye on the left wing. Got a fire with 3 seconds. Nearly tipped in by CBU, and Rapp missing off the window. Now it's Gak's turn. Coleman will make him earn it.
Multiple bites at the cherry there. Ends up in a foul. Good attack on the offensive glass. And they'll be back to the free throw line. As CBU are still winning this quarter 11-7. We put that as a task for CBU at 3/4 time, so let's see if they can continue the intensity and win the fourth quarter, and they can go back to America with that on their CV.
I highly suspect that would have been the word from Rick Roy's huddle as well, Ollie, to win the quarter. The mini goals you can set. Statman's come back in for Southeast. Good afternoon of action here at the State Basketball Centre. Chiquinho. Coleman with the ball screen. Wade. Chris Childs now with the rock. Can he create some penetration? Gets around. Rosendale did well. Back to 20 points the margin. Nye. Rapp. Hovering for the pick. Foxwell releases the big fella. Not quite. Nye's got a shot, and he drains it. Good patience from the Phoenix.
Hasn't played many minutes, but Nye has been very easy on the eye when he's been out there. Now with 5 points, a couple of nice rebounds, and generally spaces the floor really well.
Childs down low. Wade on the block. Lefty hook, little short, follows his own miss. Diving on it was Coleman. Great hustle. And the pass to match. Deserve a bucket out of this CBU. And they'll have to do it at the line. So CBU. So Tyler Isaac at the line for CBU. And no good on the first. Short on the second. Raps there. Nearly fell back to CBU. Rosendale cleans it up. 2 minutes remain. Rapp. Statman with the handoff. Nye. Now it's that younger unit for the Phoenix, so we can get a really good look at Rosendale through traffic. Luke Rosendale's numbers have looked okay off the bench, I think, Ollie.
Yeah, 7 points for him. 1 rebound, 1 assist, and no blocks, but he's been a great little addition for Phoenix. Again, doesn't make many mistakes, spaces the floor, runs the fast break really well, and again, as we saw there, able to switch hands and make the tough finish as well.
100 seconds remain. Coleman and the foul call first.
I would love to see Coleman get a fast break opportunity because I feel like he would be a strong dunker, don't you think?
He looks like he's got the motor and the athleticism to make things happen.
He's been great to watch.
He has. Yeah, one of the standouts for me alongside Daniels Jr. So Phoenix basketball. Foxwell. Rapp's been involved. Development player for the Phoenix. Rosendale makes his move. Foxwell's got to make it happen. Nicely timed reach in there from Chiquinho. All clean, 6 seconds for Southeast to work with.
As we get close to wrapping up, Liam, who out of this CBU outfit have you enjoyed watching, and who do you think you might keep an eye on later on in their careers?
Well, it's Rosendale just no, he's stepped into the backcourt. I think, as you've mentioned, Kendall Coleman has been awesome. Defensively, I've loved his grit, his timing as well on some of his, rebounding contests. He looks like he's really polished in that department. And, of course, the play of Daniels Jr. in the first half showed glimpses, at times a little untidy with the basketball, but you can see he's got the speed, and as Gary is on cue, Kendall Coleman taking advantage. You can see that Dominic Daniels Jr. has got the toolkit to go somewhere in his career.
He just needs a little bit of fine-tuning. But, yeah, that athleticism will be here to stay and will be terrorising whoever he plays for the next while of his career. Another great rebound there by Coleman.
Chiquinho runs right into Foxwell. Charge.
Coleman now up to 10 rebounds for the afternoon. He's just outstanding.
Great game off the pine. Only 17 minutes as well that he has played. We saw a bit from Scotty Washington here at the start of this fourth quarter. Brantley Stevenson as well. Speaking of players in that CBU backcourt with a bit of motor, he has got some quickness, Stevenson. Extra pass from the Phoenix. Nye fakes the pass, makes the three. Good shift off the bench for this young man.
Great move there, great fake. Those little pass fakes are very nice when they work out well. Opened him up for the wide open three. As CBU answer as well with a three through Isaac.
Tyler Isaac converts. Last look for the Phoenix. Foxwell's got it. Nye will fire again for three. Little short. Coleman's there. No. Foxwell on the finish. That'll do it. Maybe one last look for CBU. Chiquinho will let it fly. And that does it. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix prevail by 25 points in front of their adoring home fans at the State Basketball Centre over a CBU side that shows some glimpses. And great to have them with us here in the pre-season fixture and their pre-season fixture as well for their upcoming NCAA season.
It ended up being a little bit of a blowout at the end, but the hoops delivered. It was an exciting game. Both teams had times where they went on runs and they made it slightly interesting. But overall, this is, as a basketball fan, watching the talented players out there. CBU have a lot going for themselves. They're coming up against a professional basketball team, and I'm impressed.
Certainly, they've had some individual standouts, like we've mentioned. From the Phoenix perspective, I thought they were better as the game went on, Ollie. A little sloppy in the first half, as Tommy Greer mentioned at halftime, but I thought the movement looked pretty good. They created a lot of open looks from beyond the perimeter, which is, if you coach Mike Kelly, exactly what you want.
100%, and I feel like if you come in as the heavy favourite in the matchup, you can kind of come out with a little bit less intensity because you think that the game will kind of come to you. But the first half, CBU brought it to them, and Phoenix in the second half had to put the foot down and show their professionalism.
Well, first home game, of course, October 1st versus Perth Wildcats. That's going to be terrific. Get down, John Cain Arena. Do not miss it. Always a good atmosphere at the fire pit for the Phoenix games. You can see on centre court right now, Gorjak Gak as well getting a photo with Rick Croy and his old teammates. That's terrific to see.
Yeah, that was a great moment there. And, geez, as a basketball fan globally, we're just in such good nick. So nice to have these American teams come through Australia, play against some different NBL outfits for pre-season, and it's just beneficial for everyone.
Absolutely it is. Credit to CBU. Great to have them here in Australia for this tour. Thank you very much for joining us here on Phoenix Basketball. Pre-season kicked off today in style. And make sure you stay in touch on the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix socials as well, as it all kicks off in about 6 to 8 weeks' time. Liam Ellison and Ollie Landos on the call. Ollie, thanks for joining us. It's been good.
Thank you, Liam. It's been an absolute pleasure to call with you.
And we'll catch you next time here at the State Basketball Centre. It is the Phoenix by 25.